very flat, minimal design look, which I'm a big fan of. After that, Google kind of started doing it in all of their applications in Android, and then finally Apple followed suit with this last design update that they had. And a lot of applications, you probably had to update a lot of apps. Facebook has a new look, Google Chrome has a new look, and they've all gone to this kind of flat look. So that's just an example of a trend that happens, and they're cyclical. I'm sure eventually we'll go back to drop shadows and 3D, kind of more of that look. But from a company standpoint, it is important to be aware of the trends, because if your application looks out of place, it looks outdated even if it's designed well, which is why all of these new apps are updating their design to follow iOS so that they follow suit. Another design trend, this is web specific, you might have noticed this. A lot of websites now are going to a very long single page design. Part of the reason for that is because people are used to scrolling on tablets and phones. Instead of going to separate pages, it's a lot easier to swipe down and continue to look at content. Also, devices overall are just a lot faster, and the internet's a lot faster, and so it's easier to load everything at once. Whereas a couple years ago, it wasn't as practical to put all of these images and everything on one page. But from a usability standpoint, usually it's a better idea to put more on your home page if you can, because chances of people going to subpages are a lot slimmer versus putting content on the home page. They have a higher chance of looking at that. So a couple other trends here that you can see. A lot of websites are doing these kind of full width sections that are broken off, so they're very distinct sections that go all the way across. Part of the reason for that is a lot of people are building responsive websites that adapt the layout no matter what device they're on. So if you were to go to this website on a phone or on a tablet, it's going to look great either way. You don't get like this tiny version that you can't see. Also, these like full width big photo backgrounds are a big trend right now. You can even kind of tell with this site, they have more of the flatter look where they have solid colors versus like texture. So again, these trends are something that we'll go into more detail in later classes. Okay, subtlety is another big UX principle that is broken all the time. I'll give you a very good example. This is a good example of being subtle. It's a little bit hard to see with the projector, but if you look at kind of these layer styles on the buttons and the form fields, there's a very subtle shadow here. The button has a very subtle highlight. The corners are rounded, but it's a very small corner radius. Over here, there are gradients, but it's very subtle, which overall doesn't distract you. It looks pleasing. Versus what I see all the time on the web are these. These buttons, I'm sure the designer, I try and think of like what the designer was thinking when they designed it. They're probably like, oh, this is so cool, looks so 3D, I'm an awesome designer, look at all these cool things. But it's super distracting, and it frankly looks ugly. Part of it I blame Microsoft Word for. I'm sure we've all, in our middle school and high school days, used these word arts like crazy. Drop shadows, for example, like look how big and thick that drop shadow is, and it just doesn't look good. So subtlety is key to having good design. I don't remember the exact quote, I'll kind of paraphrase it, but good design should, people shouldn't notice good design, it should kind of be in the background, so they're focused on just the user experience. And that's a challenge a lot of designers run into, is they want to do all these cool things to get people's attention, so people think like, oh, he's such a talented designer. You want them to not notice the design, so they're focused on just the experience.
If you go too unsubtle, it looks like an advertisement.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a balance. Definitely. Okay, goal-oriented design. This one is also key. Whenever we start a project, the first thing we ask the client is, what is their goal with their website or with their app? What are they trying to accomplish? Are they trying to get more sales? Are they trying to get people to call them on the phone? Are they trying to get more signups for their email list? Are they trying to eliminate tech support on the phone? Whatever it is, that should be everything that drives your design, which is another common mistake. So, for example, with this site, they're a clothing company. Their goal is to sell clothes. But with this design, it's not helping the goal because you can't even find where to buy clothes at. In some cases, there's rare cases where a design like this would be applicable if you're trying to stand out as like a really edgy, cool design company.
Maybe like an advertisement, like you're advertising your company.
Exactly. Just to show like we're trying to achieve a certain brand or. But if you're trying to sell on your website, it's not going to be very effective. So for example, this site, they have a call to action right here, and it's very clear what they're trying to do and how to get to it. A lot of that is because their site is very clean and simple. But that call to action is right here. That's the only thing that is a big button right away. Their heading and subheading is right there. So everything about this site is geared towards that goal. If you were to look at all the sections that they have on the home page, it's all about getting you to click that button that says Start Selling with Gumroad. So that's a key point with user experience is designing everything towards your goal, which a lot of people miss. Here's an example of an application. This is a time tracking software that we use in our company, and right away, the main thing of what you should do is right there. What are you working on? Has a high contrast background. The only button that's blue is right there, so it's very obvious what to do right away. The last thing I want to talk about are tools that I like to use for this class. Some of this is dependent on you guys. Ideally, since I'd like to do as much hands-on work as possible, it would be great if you could bring a laptop, and then Photoshop, and then Sublime Text is a text editor that's free. Photoshop, I imagine, would be the trickiest because it's expensive. However, you can get a 3-month trial, which I think could work. If it's a problem for people, maybe what we could do is use a computer lab in a school somewhere. I don't know what we can do for that, but what are your guys' situations with these?
My dad bought it.
What?
My dad bought it.
He did? Okay.
I think same with my family.
Okay.
Like I just download, like I can just pay the $15 for the student license.
It's a student license,
Yeah, because they do that cloud, create a cloud.
That's right. we got
Yeah,
the
you can.
ability-
Yeah, it's actually all a cloud subscription now, so you could do just like a month or two. if you
Well,
want.
actually, we get it for free, right?
I don't, well, it said on the website, the student subscription was like $15, and it was individual was like 25.
Okay.
So unless Weaver has a special deal, I don't know.
Well, we just bought a site